Don't sacrifice your individual freedom. Most people yearn for a rich and deeply satisfying life, one filled with purpose, achievement, and genuine fulfillment. Yet so few are able to truly attain it. Many aren't able to perceive what life on earth has to fully offer because life is meant to be more than perceived but deeply experienced. Why is that? Often, it's because people get trapped in patterns of destructive thinking that prioritize everything but their own well-being, and this diminishes their capacity for embodied living. Collectivists are those masses of people who live predominantly in their heads, lost in abstract ideals, inorganic realities, and at worst, are those who blindly promote altruistic sacred ideologies and the notion of self-sacrifice. And it is these people can never fully grasp the kind of message that will be presented here. Collectivists themselves lack the genetic connection required to create and follow their own individual path. We should refrain from resentment, critique, and draining our own energy from destructive thoughts, projections, and behaviors towards these types. Negativity attracts negativity. But these concepts that will be presented here serve as necessary antidotes to the infected ideas we have all been exposed to and unwillingly infected with. Only by purging these infected concepts can we begin to live as free, self-respecting beings, capable of genuine achievement and authentic goodwill toward others. Exposure and integration of these concepts is truly what enables the individual to be healthy, strong, and authentic. Most people sabotage themselves by giving away their power. The willingness to sacrifice oneself for some so-called higher cause is at the very core of altruism, and it's a dangerous trap. Sacrifice doesn't just erode your personal values, it destroys them outright. Those values, the ones you've worked so hard to create, earn, and nurture for your individual self, are irreplaceable. They're the foundation of your identity, your happiness, and your success. Think about it, the main barriers to achieving life's greatest rewards aren't just external obstacles. At first, they are internal ones, like a lack of essential skills, genuine competence, and real-world life experience. But even more insidious is the submission to external authorities, whether that's societal norms, religious doctrines, manipulative figures, or simply any external figure. All these behaviors coalesce around an individual's overarching lack of self-esteem. Without self-esteem, you can't stand firm in your own true ego. You start believing that your needs are secondary, that you must defer to others or to some vague greater good. This mindset keeps people stuck, preventing them from claiming what they deserve. From a young age, we're indoctrinated to believe that sacrifice is a virtue. It's drilled into us through stories, the workforce, education, and culture. But there's a profound sickness in our world that insists on this twisted narrative, that sacrifice is noble, altruism is inherently good, pride is a sin to be avoided, and obedience to authority is not just expected but an outright obligation. This sickness permeates society, using every tool at its disposal, guilt, shame, persuasion, even coercion, to divert us from our true paths. It convinces us to waste our precious time, energy, money, and health on pursuits that go against our own authentic will. These influences whisper or shout that there are more important things to do, higher and more noble causes to devote ourselves to. And conveniently, they always tell us exactly what those things are, as if they know better than we do about our own lives. Instead of falling into this trap, we should focus on supporting each other in the fulfillment of our individual needs. Every person's path is uniquely difficult, fraught with challenges that test our resolve. Finding our true path, our genuine calling in life, is often the hardest endeavor we face. It requires introspection, courage, and persistence. We frequently learn through the arduous process of trial and error, stumbling through mistakes and learning from our failures along the way. These failures aren't just setbacks, they're essential teachers. We need the freedom to experience them fully, to feel the weight of our own choices. We must be allowed to pursue the wrong things, or at least attempt them, and face the consequences head-on, getting smashed down if necessary, only to rise stronger. Equally important, we must be empowered to defend ourselves and those we care about. We should have the right to smash back against those who would harm us or our loved ones, without hesitation or apology. This isn't about aggression for its own sake, it's about self-preservation and justice. We must be brave and free to assert our desires and beliefs openly, so that others can understand us and interact with us in ways that respect our boundaries. In turn, we grant others the same right to bravely voice their desires and beliefs, so we can engage with them authentically and appropriately. At its heart, each person deserves the unbridled freedom to chase what they truly want in life, without interference or judgment. This means embracing open competition, where we pit our skills and ambitions against others fairly. It's through this competition that we grow, innovate, and excel. We must each recognize our inherent right to shape our world, for better or for worse, through the choices we make and the actions we take. And when push comes to shove, we need to know that we'll fight tooth and nail to protect the people, ideals, and things we hold dear. This fierce protectiveness isn't barbaric. It's a fundamental aspect of living authentically. In openly acknowledging these truths, we foster mutual respect and tolerance among one another. We create a space where differences aren't threats but opportunities for understanding. And if conflict arises, if the time comes when we must fight, we do so as equals. We fight like brother and sister. Even in battle, there's an underlying love and recognition of shared life and a shared humanity. Afterward, we can reconcile, knowing the fight was necessary and honorable. When our time comes to die, it will be with honor and dignity intact. We'll pass knowing that our voice echoed through the world, that we've made a tangible difference. We'll rest assured that we've given our absolute best and lived and died, free from the chains of regret or subjugation. The greatest enemy of this freedom is external authority. True freedom doesn't come from outside. It springs from within us, from our own inner strength and conviction. External authority is anything or anyone we surrender our power to, be it a person, an institution, a tradition, or even a societal expectation. It's whatever lies outside ourselves that we submit to, often out of fear, habit, or misplaced trust. We each possess a sacred right to live according to the voice of our own conscience, guided by what some might call the Christ spirit, or the divine spark that dwells in every human heart. This inner guidance, not some imposed external rule, should be our compass. Yet there's a major force in our lives that relentlessly tries to seize control of our destiny. This is the primary external authority we all contend with, our social obligations, the dues we pay simply for being part of humanity. This force is the collective will, the aggregated desires and norms of society as a whole. It's an external tyrant that demands conformity. We must negotiate with it, forcing compromises that create win-win situations rather than outright capitulation. But make no mistake, this collective will is not aligned with our personal best interests. Its sole purpose is the preservation and advancement of humanity en masse, and it will unhesitatingly sacrifice individuals for what it deems the greater good if given the chance. In placing humanity above all else, it fractures the sacred balance of life, the circle of life, transforming sacred harmony into a pattern of distortion, loss, and ruin. Here's the paradox. We actually contribute the most to humanity's progress by being unapologetically individualistic, by maximizing our unique potential. We serve humanity best by becoming ourselves fully. A musician who masters their art lifts others. A teacher who loves learning inspires students. A builder who cares about quality improves communities. A thinker who thinks honestly clarifies truth. Authentic individuals advance civilization. When we heed our inner authority, the master within, that still small voice of conscience, we propel not just ourselves but the entire species forward. Demanding our own freedom liberates others in turn. It creates a ripple effect that elevates everyone. Conversely, when we demand obedience to the collective, we enslave all. We become mere sacrifices on the altar of the people. The collective will is, and always will be, an adversary to personal liberty. It's inherently stronger than any single individual, with the weight of numbers and tradition behind it. Resisting it requires all our strength, and the best outcome we can hope for is that balanced win-win compromise. But through this resistance, we achieve something profound. We compel the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual growth of the human race. By standing firm, we force evolution, pushing society into new stages of awareness and capability. This is the noble goal of the true master, not blind submission, but strategic defiance. It's in fighting battles we know we can't fully win that we transcend. In never surrendering, we can become masters of our own lives, and our egoic strength will reach the day where it becomes stronger than the collective. This is the true will. Divinity is earned in victory over the impossible. Mastery isn't about domination. It's about impact. We become masters when our actions make a difference, when our lives count toward the advancement of humanity and all life on Earth. But this can only happen if we're free to choose, free to act without the collective's yoke. My own success, for instance, serves as an inspiration for others. It shows them that following their dreams is possible, that manifesting those dreams comes from focused, personal effort and tangible results. In times of strength, I can lift others, carrying them through their weaknesses until they regain their footing. Similarly, I'm inspired by the successes of those around me. Seeing someone else achieve greatness reminds me, if they can do it, so can I. It fuels my drive, encouraging me to push harder and refuse to give up, even when the odds seem stacked against me. Imagine if every individual prioritized their own best interests, applying themselves in realistic, productive ways. They'd discover their own paths to happiness, building competence through effort and honesty. By nature, people are wired to do the best they can to navigate life, or in darker cases, to self-destruct. Deep down, each of us seeks happiness and positive self-esteem. If not, we're unconsciously courting oblivion. But true fulfillment comes from aligning with our authentic selves, not from external dictates. We can only discern our true will through unwavering loyalty to our inner authority, that still small voice in our heart and conscience. It's uncompromising. It demands integrity and that we never sacrifice. And living by example? That's the highest gift we can offer the world. It inspires without coercion, teaches without preaching. There's always the possibility of forging a win-win situation. You don't have to sacrifice your health, time, energy, or money for altruistic goals unless those goals harmonize perfectly with your own. To realize your life's dream, tune into that inner voice of conscience and commit to unceasing labor in its pursuit. Distractions will abound, altruistic causes vying for your resources, pulling you from your path. But remember, there are also causes that align with and bolster your dreams. Choose those. Support what uplifts you, not what drains you. It doesn't have to be an either-or proposition. If a win-win isn't apparent, get creative, innovate a solution. And if something doesn't align with your goals and values, walk away, find alternatives that do. Beware those who make a living by convincing or forcing others to sacrifice ever larger portions of their time, energy, and earnings to unworthy causes. These opportunists, often representing non-productive entities, never grasp the value of hard work, personal effort, and honesty. They don't earn, they extract. They con people into surrendering their power to some external authority they claim to embody. Instead, direct your support to those who invest their own effort, who walk paths akin to yours. Persist in seeking that win-win, and it will reveal itself. Ultimately, know this: the only true comfort you'll find in life is that which you have the strength to create and perceive for yourself. No one else can grant it. It's born from your inner resilience and vision. Embrace individualism, resist the collective's pull, and live freely. Your life and your future depend on it.